Hi everyone. I hope you had a great week. We are not going to be outdoor, as you could see. We are indoor. We want to talk about what is in my bag. First of all, I have 5D Mark III full frame. Been replaced with 5D Mark IV. They are full frame and they're pretty slow for wildlife. And autofocusing is not the greatest, so use it for portrait or any other occasion. They're excellent choice. I have crop sensor as well, 7D Mark II, that's a crop sensor, but it's much faster for autofocusing and also a crop factor. So if you're adding any long lens to it, would have a 1.6, or any lens you put it, as a matter of fact, it has a 1.6 fact, so it would give you extra reach and it would be excellent choice for wildlife photography, although the quality of image is not as good as full frame. The most important part about lenses, I should say, is the biggest key is what lens you are comfortable with. That would be your main lens for you. And if you could spend most of your time with that particular lens, there is so much benefit to it, regardless of what size they are or what focal length or what aperture they have. As long as that lens give you enough confidence to take you outside, and try to play with that lens or to go most of the assignment with it for learning photography. The first thing I had for my landscape photography was 16-35, and definitely this guy 16-35 is one of the best choice. Would be for a travel photography, and it gives you a pretty wide angle and you could cover quite a bit of the rocks in the front of you, the lake behind it, a mountain behind it, and then anything even above that. This is my main lens for outdoor shooting, if I shoot nature photography or not for wildlife. Aperture, it makes a big difference as well. Sometimes you need a fast lens, but for wide angle, as long as you have tripod, at least this is my belief, it's f4 is good enough. And also the new one, which is this one, I just got it 2 years ago. I had the old 16-35, which was 2.8, but no IS, and this one has an IS, so which is image stabilizer. It does help quite a bit for handheld. If you're shooting event photography, some places with really low light, either if you're a wedding photographer or event photographer and you're not allowed to use flash and the place has some light, the body of the camera has been changed so much and became awesome. In the past 5 years, it could shoot almost at any condition based off how much you could jack up your ISO. So before it used to be a big deal to have a really fast lens. It still is, but I feel like you should have one good prime wide angle or mid-range, either 35 or 50 with a big aperture, which is this one is 1.4. This is works very well in low light situation, either church or event if you're shooting. And with the big aperture, you're going to have a really good shutter speed, so handheld would be no problem. So it depends on where you're going in photography or what your plan is. You could invest for different lenses and different equipment. Traveling photography, definitely zoom is a big time handy. Doesn't matter what focal length, but the only zoom I have is 16-35. My last trip was in Newfoundland, for example. You are at a certain area and you see the iceberg in a certain distance. So if you go with the 200, as always, you see at the same distance, same focal length, the 200. But if you have zoom, you could zoom in and out. You could add in or get rid of some of this stuff by zooming in and out. So it definitely has a benefit. And so I suggest this: before investing any lens you want to buy, it would be a good idea to rent, to take a trip, and they're not too expensive actually. You could road test them, see if you like them, try to create art try to play with your lenses as much as possible to find out the behavior of the lens and learning understanding of nature of each lens. What is the best aperture, as they call it, sweet spot? What is the sweetest spot for your lenses? Is that f8, f11, f16? Where is it? So when you're playing with all these elements in your lens, you have a better knowledge of what you're going to achieve when you are in the field, when you are shooting at the birds or leaves or any subject. So you know you could sacrifice between bokeh and the sharpness, and you could manipulate your lens, your image right in the camera instead of bring the image and do all the work in Photoshop. So I hope this episode did help you, and I hope it didn't confuse you. But if you have any question, send me a message. I'll see you next week outdoor. Enjoy your week. Thank you for your support. And please don't forget to click the button and subscribe or share it as well. Thanks for watching and have a good week. Keep shooting. Have fun.